Chosen ones, your blessing is tied to your attack. So the way the devil attacks you is the way you will receive your blessing. Before I get into anything, please subscribe, like, feel free to share this. I know this message is for somebody. So when you get attacked, everything is strategic. And you kind of have to understand just the ins and outs of why you were attacked and the purpose of them. And I broke those down in a couple videos ago. But see, there wouldn't be an attack on your life if there wasn't something ahead of you, if there wasn't something that was manifesting, if there wasn't something that was on the other side. See, behind every storm is a blessing. And, you know, behind every dark period, behind, you know, every battle that's faced is something great on the other side. Because you wouldn't be attacked just for nothing. If there was nothing significant that was going on or that was going to happen, you wouldn't be attacked. And also you wouldn't see an intense increase in attacks if you wouldn't be, headed somewhere. So this is all by design. This is all spiritual warfare. This is all by design to keep you off of your calling, to keep you off of your purpose, to distract you, to get you agitated, to get you to thinking that something won't happen. See, you have to look at it like this. You know, if I was someone, just a regular person, if you're trying to surprise someone or not to tell someone, you're doing everything opposite because you don't want them to find out. So the enemy, when he attacks, he does everything that's opposite, or not opposite, but he does everything that goes inside with the flow of things. So if he sees a way a certain blessing is going to come to you, he's going to attack you by that metric. If he knows that you are supposed to be a leader of people, if you're someone that was purposed or that was destined to be a speaker or destined to, lead people and be in front of crowds, if the enemy is like, okay, if I can get him to or her to hate people, then they're just gonna give in and throw in the towel. They're gonna be like, okay, whatever I'm doing is stupid. There's nothing but ignorant people in the world. There's nothing but hateful people in the world. So I'm just gonna. So that's what the enemy's thinking. Okay, if I can get him or her to give up on people, or give up, if you're supposed to lead people, or if your purpose is built around people, if I can get them, this person to hate people, to be bitter, then they're going to miss their blessing. Whenever someone comes with a blessing, they're going to reject it because they're going to think that all people are this way. If you're supposed to receive an abundance, then the enemy's looking at it like, okay, if I can get this person to think God doesn't care about their struggles, their financial struggles, then I can get them to turn against God because their money's not the best right now, or they're not, in the situation that they want to be, or it's taking a while. I'm gonna make them think that it's never going to happen, and for them to curse God. See, in the book of Job, Job's wife was under, demonic, Job's wife was possessed by a demon. And when Job, he lost his fortunes, he lost, all his possessions, and the enemy had put all these things on him. He put these boils, he stripped away his finances, his health, his face, and everything that kind of made him shine and glow. And his wife is like, you need to curse God and die or whatever. So if I was, you know, the devil made him, question like, damn, am I really supposed to, then you kind of feel some type of way. So, the way these attacks are coming is it's tied directly to your blessing. So if you're being attacked in the workplace, if you're being attacked when you're trying to make money, then that means an abundance of money is coming. If you're being attacked by people, then that means you're supposed to be leading people. However you get attacked, then that's what you're supposed to be doing. So it's tied to that. So I would pay attention to not just why the attacks are happening, which I, said in a couple videos, but what kind of attacks are they? Who's involved and what is the transaction? You know, if the attacks are at work, then finances is a part of your blessing. If the taxes from people just in ordinary places, then that means you're supposed to have a big influence amongst a group of people. So that's what all these attacks have to do with your blessing. The important thing about this video and the thing I'm trying to get across is that that's how you will get blessed, is based on these type of attacks. So your blessing will come in that form. The same path that God is, pulling in and lining up all these people, lining up all these activities, lining up the right time, the right resources, the right particular moment to bless you. The same path the enemy is trying to get in front, in the middle of that line so you won't get to the other side. He's trying to make you think, that's just what his attacks are. It's just like if you're traveling, if you're taking a road trip to somewhere for the first time, and let's just say it's a long. I guess it don't even have to be necessarily a long drive, but let's just say it's one of them long travels. You're going halfway across the country, and all of a sudden, everything's going good. You're on this road trip, and then you have this obstruction, you have this construction that's going on. So let's just say, for instance, you have a big thing of construction. You take a detour around it, and then you're steady going, and then you have another detour, and then okay, you go around that, and then you have another detour, and then you get to a point, you're like, damn, I still got 6 hours, and you get to a point where you've had like 6 or 7 different detours, and you've been held up, and you're so delayed. You wanted to get to this place, and it's like a day or so late. You can't check in on time, and you're frustrated, and you're at the point you're just about to give up and just drive all the way back and ruin all that. That's what the enemy wants. He wants to put so much construction, so much, things in the way that frustrate you, and that you just give up on getting to the destination. Because now, if you don't care, if you're strong, then even though it's tough, you'll find a way to make it through. But he wants to frustrate you to where you don't want to get all the way there, to where you won't have the patience. Because if there's no construction in a way, just like if you're going on a random road trip, there's no construction. Hey, it's smooth sailing. You get to your destination, you having fun. You get what you're paid for. You get the whole experience that you want. Great vacation, great plan. But see, the enemy, he knows that, and when it comes to your destiny, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to your life, he's trying to do everything he can to just disrupt that. He's trying to make it where all these things are in the way. He's trying to make it like the movie Are We There Yet, with everything just goes crazy wrong. He's trying to make it like the worst road trip ever for you to get, just think of it like that. He's trying to make it the worst road trip ever, to where you just want to just say, screw this. I'm done trying to get to this destination. I'm going to turn around, go home. I'm going to give up, and I'm going to lose all that momentum, all that work. That's what he wants you to do, because that's what makes it worse. Just like on a road trip, if you do all that, and after all that, you turn around and you go back home. And when you do that, I bet you all those constructions, all those things that were in the way, and you were almost there, you turn around and go back home, I bet you there's not one thing in the way when you want to go home. It's not one thing. Anytime, and I think I've had one trip like that where I was like halfway and it was some type of emergency where I had to go back. And of course, anytime it's a trip like that where you don't want to go back home, like you never run into anything. It's always when you're trying to get somewhere, you're going to run into a lot of construction, a lot of different things. So that's what these attacks mean. And that's how you know the way you're being attacked is the way you're going to get blessed. It's the same path. You just got to continue to stay on that path. It's frustrating. Just keep taking these detours. Keep using the GPS, God positioning system, as I like to say, and just stay the course. It just, you know, it's like different levels. It's like just, a fighting game where you just got to continue to get to the last level, get to the boss level, beat the boss, and you're there. And but see, that should let you know that the enemy is so afraid of your breakthrough. He's so afraid of what you're going to do. He's so afraid of what you're going to represent. He's so afraid of the impact that you're going to have. A lot of you are closer than you think, but you cannot give up on your momentum. You cannot stop everything that you're putting into all that stuff. It's just like, that would just be a waste. You come too far to give up. You come too far. You got to go the distance like Rocky. You got to hang in there and just deal with it and know that, okay, there's got to be something. I'm promised something from going through all this. God's not going to let me go through all this without something to come out on the other side. So always remember that. Remember, your blessing is tied to your attack. Your blessing is tied to your attack. I know this video is for someone. Please get this video out here. Like I said, subscribe, like. See you in the next video.